Hey everybody, Josh right here, back again with a new video. And not too long ago, I made a video talking about the top 10 athletes of the 1990s. And the video did okay. I felt kind of disappointed, though, when I only put 2 NBA players on the entire video, because the NBA was a very popular time in the 90s, and there was so many great players from this time. So I decided to make a video dedicated to these guys and all the 90s kids watching this video. I'm Josh Wright, and today on Let's Talk Sports, we're going to be taking a look at, in my opinion, the top 10 NBA players of the 1990s. Spoiler alert, I guess I should do honorable mentions right now. Michael Jordan. I didn't put Michael Jordan on the list. I deeply apologize. See, the thing is, I already put number one. I put him at number one in my top 10 and athletes of all time in the 90s. So, plus, I didn't really want to do it again. Otherwise, the video would be too obvious. So I think of him as like an honorable mention, as well as Patrick Ewing. Again, this is in no particular order. These were just 10 guys that I thought were pretty amazing. So with that said, here we go. So number 10, the first guy on this list, we got Dennis Rodman, who played from 1986 to 2000. Dennis Rodman played forward for the Pistons, Supersonics, Bulls, Lakers, and Mavericks in his career. Dennis had quite a bit of achievements in his 14-year career, being a 5-time NBA champion, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, 2-time All-Star, and a 7-time NBA rebounding champion. The reason why Dennis Rodman is number 10 on this list is because, well, he played along with Michael Jordan and Scotty Pippen, who were, of course, also great Bulls players, but whether you enjoy Dennis Rodman or not, he is one of the greatest defensive players and rebounders in the NBA. Dennis Rodman in his career had a total of 6,683 points, 11,954 rebounds, and had 1,600 assists, making his points per game 7.3, and then rebounds per game 13.1, and his assists per game 1.8. Number 9, Shawn Kemp, who played from 1989 to 2003. Hey, look, it's Alonzo Mourning's head. We'll get to him in a minute. Shawn Kemp played for the Supersonics, Cavaliers, and Portland Trail Blazers, along with the Orlando Magic in his 14-year career. The 6-time All-Star had a tendency to throw down nasty slams and was a big reason for his points per game in percentage. Shawn Kemp also knew when to shoot the ball and when to give the ball up to someone else. Shawn Kemp, after playing for the Orlando Magic, wow. Hang on a sec, let me change that. Playing for the Orlando Magic, tried to make some comebacks in the NBA, but didn't exactly go very well. Shawn scored 15,347 points, making his points per game percentage 14.6, 8,834 rebounds, making his rebounds per game 8.4, and had 1,279 blocks, making his blocks per game 1.2. He also represented Canada in the 1994 FIBA Basketball World Cup. Number 8, Alonzo Mourning, who played from 1992 to 2008. Alonzo Mourning played center and power forward in his 18-year career with the Charlotte Hornets, Miami Heat, and at the Brooklyn Nets. At the time, they were the New Jersey Nets at the time, so it doesn't really matter. He played for the Nets as well. Alonzo Mourning was a first-round pick out of Georgetown, selected by the Charlotte Hornets in 1992. Before Shaquille O'Neal and after Christian Laettner, he went to the Miami Heat in 1995 and was one of the best Heat players at the time. Alonzo Mourning became a 7-time All-Star in his career, won 1999 Defensive Player of the Year, and later on won an NBA title with the Heat in 2006. Alonzo also scored 14,311 points, making his points per game 17.1, had 7,137 rebounds, 8.5 rebounds per game, and had 2,356 blocks with his 2.8 blocks per game. Alonzo Mourning, willing to put in the work he needed, became one of the best centers in the game. Number 7, Clyde Drexler, who played from 1983 to 1998. Clyde the Glide Drexler was a shooting guard and small forward with the Portland Trail Blazers and Houston Rockets in his 15-year career. Drexler was a 10-time All-Star and won the NBA title with the Rockets in 1995, taking down Shaquille O'Neal and the Orlando Magic. He scored 22,195 points, making his points per game 20.4, 6,677 rebounds, 6.1 rebounds per game, and had 6,125 assists, with his assists per game being 5.6. The thing that made Clyde Drexler so fun to watch was the way he flew around the court with ease. He played great defense, he rebounded, and knew how to find and teammates to give the ball to. Clyde Drexler was a super talented player in his golden age of basketball. Number 6, Charles Barkley, who played from 1984 until 2000. Having the same rookie year as Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley played for the 76ers, Suns, and Rockets in his 16-year career in professional basketball. Charles Barkley was a very dominant player in his time, and in the way he played, it seemed like he wasn't trying. Nicknamed the round mound of rebound, he was an extremely cerebral player. Charles Barkley always liked to get into opponents' players' heads. The fact that he never won an NBA title hurts his legacy. There we go. However, Charles Barkley is still one of the best of his time. What's wrong, computer? There we go. Charles Barkley was an 11-time All-Star, won an MVP in 1993, and was in the Olympics in 1992 and 1996. Charles Barkley scored 23,757 points with a 22.1 points per game, 12,546 rebounds, 11.7 rebounds per game, and then had 4,125 career assists, making his assists per game 3.9. Number 5, John Stockton, who played from 1984 until 2003. John Stockton then played his entire career with the Utah Jazz as their point guard, getting smacked by the Chicago Bulls in the NBA Finals. John Stockton was one of the most intelligent players in the NBA. He would pick apart at the defense in a pick-and-roll transition and made it look very easy. John Stockton also knew how to draw defense, hence toward him in the paint, dishing the balls to wide-open big men for high-percentage shots. His intelligence made John Stockton one of the most excelling players of the NBA and was athletically gifted. John Stockton was a 10-time All-Star, had 19,711 points. Hello, Karl Malone. Had 13.1 points per game, 15,806 assists, making his assists per game 10.5, and had 3,265 steals, 2.2 steals per game. Number 4, Karl Malone. That's why John Stockton's number 5. Number 5, John Stockton. Number 4, Karl Malone. Karl Malone, nicknamed the Mailman, was a power forward for the Utah Jazz and Los Angeles Lakers in his career. Karl Malone was a 14-time All-Star and won the MVP in 1987 and 1999. Thanks to this guy, the Jazz never missed the playoffs. While Karl was on the team. They lost to the Chicago Bulls. The Mailman was still showing his dominance on the court. The Western Conference was very competitive in the 90s with amazing players in the conference such as David Robertson, Charles Barkley, like we just mentioned, and of course Hakeem, which we'll get into those two guys in a minute. The fact that Karl Malone had to go up against all these players must have been like a challenge, but he made it seem easy. Number 3, Scotty Pippen, who played from 1987 until 2004. Scotty Pippen played small forward with the Chicago Bulls, Houston Rockets, and Portland Trail Blazers in his 17-year career. Also playing alongside Dennis Rodman and Michael Jordan, and on the Bulls, being part of the 6 NBA titles. The 7-time All-Star never won a Defensive Player of the Year. He was really good, though, when it came to defense. But again, remember who he had as a teammate for 11 years. Besides that, Scottie Pippen had the ability to keep opposing defensive is honest on the wing, making it easier for Michael Jordan. Scottie gave the Bulls a tough-nosed, gritty attitude that helped the Bulls' dominancy. Did it work? Well, duh. It worked. Look at the 6 NBA titles. Yeah, it helped. Number 2, David Robinson, who played from 1989 to 2003. I almost said Robertson for a second. Sorry. David Robertson is a baseball player. David Robinson is an NBA player. Spending his whole career with the San Antonio Spurs as their center, David Robinson was a 10-time All-Star 1990 Rookie of the Year, 1995 MVP, and won the 1999 NBA title over the New York Knicks. He kind of looked like a bodybuilder, but he was a very polished player on both sides of the ball, showing his fundamental skills defining his game. David Robinson was a leader, mentor, and disciplined player on the basketball court. That's why he was loved off and on the court. Number 1, Hakeem Olajuwon. I know. This guy has a very hard name to pronounce. I mean, look, I had to watch this SB Nation video just so it could help me pronounce his name. Anyway, so playing from 1984 to 2002 with the Houston Rockets and Toronto Raptors. I know this is going to make a lot of people mad because Michael Jordan isn't on the list, and he's not number 1. Well, think of him as like an honorable mention. Hakeem was able to spread the floor with his deadly stroke from anywhere within 15 feet. He led the Rockets to back-to-back NBA titles versus the New York Knicks and Orlando Magic, taking down Patrick Ewing and Shaquille O'Neal. Though he didn't speak a whole lot, he only spoke on the court. In my opinion, Hakeem is the best player during the golden age of basketball. He outshined the flashier and more athletic players by simply beating them during Hakeem's career. He was a 12-time All-Star, winning the 1994 and 1995 MVP, Rookie of the Year in 1985, and there's all his achievements right there. He also had 26,946 points, making his points per game 21.8. Rebounds 13,747. His rebounds per game 11.1, and had 3,830 blocks, making his blocks per game 3.1. Of course, he's in the Basketball Hall of Fame, and he was in the Olympics in 1996. And that's his number right there, of course. I know you guys were expecting Michael Jordan to be on the list, and I deeply apologize if I got your hopes up. Again, this list, it's a list talking about 10 guys that I thought really stood out in the 90s besides Michael Jordan. And that's my list for the top 10 NBA players in the 1990s. Again, I apologize for not putting Michael Jordan on here. But thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, subscribe if you're new here, comment down below. Besides Michael Jordan and Patrick Ewing, did I leave anybody off this list that you thought was a really good player in the 90s? And here's another thing. Today's shout-outs go out to Grayson Boy 101 and Hope. I don't know how to pronounce that last name. Geiger. Oh well, but Grayson Boy 101, he was wanting a shout-out in video form. You know what? Here's your shout-out. And then Hope, she asked me, when did I start my channel? I started it in May of 2019. And then here's another thing. Everyday Sports Mania, I challenge this kid to do the best player on every NBA team of the 1990s. I know that's going to take him a while. That's going to take a lot of editing. That's going to take a lot of time. But take your time, dude. I know that's going to be a challenge, but trust me, I think it's going to be fun. Thank you guys for watching. Take care.